Lieutenant Lech Kril is the boss on Mars, and the third boss new players will go up against in the star chart. He can be a difficult boss, especially if you're trying to do it solo, and without figuring out the mechanics of the fight, it can actually take forever. I personally took over half an hour in this fight the first time I did it, not knowing what to do and with little knowledge of modding. In this video, I'll be going over the rewards we can get, the best tips to cheese this confusing tank, and what weapons, mods, warframes and companions are useful. First things first, Lieutenant Lech Kril drops Excalibur parts. The drop rate is pretty standard at around 40% for the new optics and chassis, and 20% for the systems. If you chose Excalibur as your starting warframe, then you probably won't be needing to grind this fight, but maybe down the line when you unlock the Helminth system on Deimos, you might want to come back to this. However, another reason for grinding Lech Kril is for the Out of Sight mod, which drops only from his body. This is a mod that you equip on the Parazon that blinds enemies around you when you perform a mercy kill, also known as the Parazon finisher, and it can be rather useful as a last resort when you're surrounded and in a pinch.
His victories are decided by his trusty hammer, one which he wields with brutal consequences. There is the assassination target. You know what to do.
In the first stage of the fight with Lech Kril, he uses cold attacks, which slow you if you're hit. The main focus here is to aim for this glowing blue power pack on his back, while staying more or less in melee range and making full use of the parry mechanic. Along the way, a couple of enemies to be wary of include the Haika Master, who summons up to 4 feline enemies while wielding a flamethrower which can proc heat damage over time, and the Arid Helion, who shoots homing missiles dealing quite a lot of splash damage. These, combined with regular grenadier enemies, can make the fight more difficult for solo players. Back on the topic of Lieutenant Lech Kril, a great tip for aiming for his back is to stay within melee range, so that he swings his hammer to hit you. This is the best time to aim for his power pack, and you'll know when you are successful as it will turn orange. When his power pack is orange, you need to be within melee range so that he does his ground slam, freezes up, and becomes vulnerable to damage. You'll have to take down his shield, after which you can only do a bit of damage to his health, but fret not, this won't be the case for the whole fight. You want to repeat this process 4 times, and the fastest way to do this is by staying within melee range of Lech Kril as much as possible. In terms of the loadout, this fight can be done with any warframe and weapon combo, but if you are approaching this solo, I would highly recommend a warframe with crowd control abilities, and any weapon with a big enough ammo magazine so you can spam at the power pack. If you find yourself struggling to deal damage, modding for cold, impact or magnetic damage should take down the shield pretty fast, while viral and slash are great against health. When we get to the second and final stage of the fight, Lieutenant Lech Kril becomes just another enemy with lots of shields and health, and you won't have to aim for a specific area. His attacks are all heat based, proccing heat damage over time if you are hit, and his shields recharge after a short cooldown. An interesting mechanic is if you blind him or go too far away, he will set up this flame barrier and become invulnerable. But his attacks are slow and can easily be parried just like in the first stage, so you can safely fire at him from mid-range and finish off the fight. Hope you found this video useful, and comment below what your starter warframe was. I still stand by my decision to choose Excalibur, but some of you may have had different experiences. I'll leave this summary here, and feel free to pause and read through this in your own time. Thank you and have a nice day. Or night.